Welcome back to the Make It Count podcast.
I'm Marcus Mire, founder of Mire Group CPAs and the Total Control Accounting System.
And I'm Tyler Warner, small business owner with a lot of accounting questions. In today's episode, we've got the first guest we've ever had on the Make It Count podcast.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
His name is Adam Broussard of Strada Realty. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, like Tyler just said, I'm happy to be here. I'm Adam Broussard with Strada Realty, and essentially what we do is just help customers buy, sell their homes, and give them the best customer service behind there. And so we have a whole bunch of different ways, and we use Marcus to help us out with that.
Yeah, so
Not just me, though.
Yeah, so
Marcus's
Adam,
team.
Yeah, the Mire Group.
That's right. That's right.
It's an entire group. It takes a group of people to handle
That's
Adam
right.
Broussard.
That's right.
So today's episode, we're going to be talking about Adam's journey from total chaos to total control.
That's right.
And
And everything in between
Exactly.
on that journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's I'll kind of kick us off. So, Adam, kind of tell us what we're doing for you. We'll kind of get into that and why you've kind of gravitated to our method, why we do it, and the importance of accounting for you.
Okay, let's see here. You basically take care of all the accounting from the month to month, reconciling the checkbook, breaking it up into zero, and using the software that's familiar with you. And I like that because it's all cloud-based. I can control it on my phone and on my desktop. I could be anywhere in the world looking at it. And I have faith that it's all working and connecting with the right things, money coming in and checks going out. And so I would say my present has definitely changed from my past.
Right.
I would do things hand, paper,
Oh, gosh.
Excel spreadsheets.
Please don't say that. Please don't. No, but this is the old Adam.
Yeah, this is the old Adam. And what happened is when you go broke, you generally don't go broke and see it like all of a sudden one day. The money gets taken from you $20, $100 at a time.
Right.
And it's the decisions that you make that you're not aware of that ends up happening, and it snowballs. And so at the end of the day, it was just because of my lack of understanding the accounting and the lack of all the accounting that I needed to be done that just put me down a path that was
Right.
just destructive.
Right. And so you're now in a situation where, so you mentioned, obviously we're doing the monthly kind of bookkeeping, right? Just kind of the standard. And then also payroll.
That's right.
And then we got your tax returns and we kind of all bundle that. But one of the things I thought was interesting is that when you and I talk, and this is kind of the point, obviously coming from me, people go, okay, he's saying that he wants to sell his services. But you've made the point to me a few times, and it's almost like it's great hearing it from a client, which is, this is like an investment for me.
Yeah.
And you'll say things to me, which I try to get people to grasp, which is, do what you do, you being the business owner. And you've kind of said that a few times, like, Marcus, I want to trust that y'all are doing it. I want to have oversight. And kind of our last episode, we talked about oversight from a fraud perspective.
Uh-huh.
So I think you're in a good position of that. You're asking questions, but you've delegated not the understanding of your finances, but the doing and managing.
That's right.
And so just kind of talk to you about that, like kind of your perspective on this function in your business from it being like an investment,
Yeah.
and letting you stay in your lane.
Yeah, so, man, I've talked to a lot of different business owners that just don't understand their accounting. One, that's like super crazy to me. But two, I understand it in a specific way.
Yeah.
And so me and you do have those conversations of just like how I want to look at it.
Right.
And so with all the stuff the software that you're able to do, you put it together in a fashion where I can see it the way I need to see it, and it's understandable by you to go facilitate those tax returns and the employees and stuff like that. Because one, I think the level of understanding from me as the business owner, watching the money going in and out and where it's going, for me to sleep good at night, I have to have a good understanding of exactly that. And so with the help of you, and I know that when I hire somebody like a traditional bookkeeper to keep track of the books, I'm now responsible for them and whatever they do, whether it's good
Yeah.
or bad, are their mistakes, and it gets to the CPA, and then
Yeah.
all those mistakes come out.
You're right.
And so it's like I know.
And you've seen that before.
Oh, in every single business I've been in.
Yeah,
And-
because it's just let me get a little bit. I'll interject a little bit because generally, and this is why I always tell people like we're not wanting to do your accounting. But, well, we like to do that. We're good at that. That's what we do. But for us, it's to give you good data to do
Right.
the right. So that bookkeeper generally. They don't also then have the team like we do to take it and say, well, we're just doing the accounting right so we can get to the good stuff, which is to build a foundation. So I see your point there is that at the end of the year, somebody's just been doing bookkeeping just to do the bookkeeping. It's not been to say, Adam, did you notice that advertising is 15% of your revenue and normally it's 8%?
Right.
What's going on there?
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in our meetings in the past businesses that I've been a part of that you have done the accounting in that setting, I've seen that come alive, and to see that and to know that you're asking questions and that you are more versatile to say, man, in other organizations.
Right.
And I love to look at other businesses, but I don't have time to study them, and you have that key because you manage other people's businesses. And
Right.
so I'm looking at somebody to poke holes and to tell me now, not a year from now.
Right.
A year from now, you may be broke. And that's not a fun place to be.
Right. It's it's funny because now you're getting into something like you were talking about earlier. Do we put together like an outline? And we, so the answer to that is yes, but it's done in the 10 minutes before. Just full transparency here, but you're talking about which one of the points I did not put on here, which is real time data, and so that's Again, why I love having somebody say it, not me say it, is because I think people, most of the time, I know you can attest to this, when you're working with an accountant, generally, it's kind of rear view mirror.
Yes.
A lot of people are doing things like they don't even work with them throughout the year. So it's really rear view. It's like I hand you a stack of, or a bunch of spreadsheets and PDFs and say, put together my books and tell me how I did.
Right.
So you're right. I mean, it's business moves fast, and you got to make decisions quickly. And like you said, you could be broke in a year.
Yeah, we live in a day and age where you can see everything in real time. I could look at the gas prices around the corner without even driving to the gas station.
Right.
So why would you want all the convenience of the world and your accounting to be in the past?
Yeah.
So
good point.
it that always just kind of festers in my mind of like when I talk to other business owners and I see where they put their passion in, and it depends. Most of the time it's on the product or service that they have. And then the office stuff it's just office stuff.
Yeah.
Tammy, the bookkeeper over here is,
Ooh.
she's going to take care of all that, And
This
I'm
last
sorry there's-
episode, Tammy the bookkeeper.
It was Suzanne.
That was
Suzanne.
it was Suzanne. We never thought Suzanne would do this.
the bookkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, who steals from
Who
you?
steals from you.
Yeah.
And I've witnessed that I've uncovered that for people.
Really?
And it doesn't put you in a good position to be the man to know,
Right.
because it's like, oh, well, now you need to go figure more out. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, well, I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I want to kind of drill down on that, what you're saying about that back office thing. So you were saying you've been, and I know this inherently, but I like hearing it from somebody else. You're saying and this makes sense. Tyler could probably attest to this. I don't think anybody sits there and goes, man, today, I really want to sit down for the next 6 hours and do the accounting. So, okay, you outsource it.
Yeah, that's
but
never happened.
That's never happened, right.
Well, I'm going to interject.
But we found the one.
Whoa.
We found the one.
Adam,
I want to
Adam,
be
we're
in my
hiring
office.
if you're interested.
I'm in my office and I have a routine. I think I've told you guys this before. I'm sure Tyler knows. The first hour is accounting, and it's where am I at health wise?
Yeah.
And
But that's good. That's oversight.
Yeah, see, I will say I probably do like cash flow forecasting
Yeah,
at least a
okay.
few times a week, looking at that. But I'm not over here like, that kind of stuff
Okay.
is more like, okay, I like doing that because I feel like that's giving me a better
Yeah.
idea where I need to go.
Well,
then-
I incorporate both. I pay
Right.
bills,
Sure.
Yeah.
and I'm recording it and recording the previous day. So
Yeah.
I'm incorporating both of them into it to where it takes me an hour a day. My bills are paid, and I know, boom, this is where I'm at altogether. And
Right.
there's there's not a guess over the next week what's going to happen, or what I'm collecting. It's all I'm already known. I've incorporated that here recently with my family. Thanks to Tyler, actually, he has Sunday night meetings with his family, so we started doing that, and I'm breaking it into them, but not necessarily the accounting side, just the
But you got to understand, Tyler doesn't have to do an hour a day. He's got rules set up in his account. We haven't talked about rules in Zero, but generally, when you spend at Popeyes, Cane's, you've already got that coded to meals.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah. It's done. It's done for you.
Right. Well, and another reason too why I'm handing over everything with the new company, and even the properties that I have is eventually coming over, is because I'm taking that system that I've created, I feel comfortable with, and automated to save that hour a day.
Right.
And make it only a 5-10 minute deal of me checking it.
Mm-hmm. And that's where we want to get you. I mean, I think with any business owner, and it's, I think as a business owner, when you're thinking about these things, you have to also think about what's your trajectory.
Yeah.
Like, you might say, well, and I totally get this. I don't need these services because I'm not growing. And so what if you save me an hour a day? What would I replace that hour a day with?
Right.
So you have to think about like where you're headed, but we want to work with people who, whatever flavor gets them, but for the most part, I think our niche or our pitch is, hey, you're trying to do better. Like we have this term around here, do better business. You're trying to do better business because not just to do better. Well, it could be that maybe you want to spend more time with your family or whatever, but generally it's, I want to grow.
Right.
And so growth
that's
means
what I think I
you
should
got to
be the
replace.
answer. Yeah.
Growth means you're replacing things generally.
Right.
You're replacing an hour of accounting in
That's
your
right.
example with hopefully 45 minutes or an hour of business development.
That's right.
Or system building or whatever moves the needle for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. And I have plenty of use for that time.
Yeah.
And to be a business owner and not want to grow or figure out how to be efficient just seems to me like you're not going to sustain that for a long period of time. And generally, you can look at the history of businesses that people that just want to reach to this level and not change or innovate or move, it goes, down.
Yeah.
So Adam, you mentioned you've been broke. Because of that, I feel like you're qualified to if you had to go to a business owner and just kind of shake them and say, hey, don't
do these things.
Don't do these things. What are those things?
Don't treat your customers like they're your enemies. Don't treat the accounting like you just want to, take the mail and put it in the closet and close the door and then I'm gonna give this to the CPA next year. That's your asset is this company, and part of that asset is the cash that you have and the flow that it goes in.
Right.
And so, typical small business owners focus on that product and service, and they think, man, this is what's going to get me to the next level. When reality is you can make more money by not adding another customer, but by being efficient on the accounting side.
Yeah.
And then now you have another hour a day to go add another customer.
Right.
So you're trying to bust out into a few different fronts when you're the only, you're a sole proprietor, self-employed person that all you do is I got to do this service and then I got to do the accounting and then, all this. But all this is saving me a bunch of money. But it's costing you that time.
Yeah. I think what you're getting at is opportunity cost. You got to think about your mindset. Your mindset has to be, and look, I can say this till I'm blue in the face, but it helps to have other people say it. You have to be thinking this is an when people try to sell you something. Like I was on the pitch the other day, which I bought anyway. So it was on a.
They did good.
My cousin's daughter. So that's my first cousin once removed. And when I say that, anybody's like, "What's that once removed thing?" We can talk about that on a different podcast. Anyway, she was selling me Cutco knives. Right?
Oh, dude!
So I went to the pitch.
Been around forever.
And
now.
look. She went. They know what they're doing, all right? So one of the pitches was, if you have a Cutco knives, what is the average cost of an evening eating out? And our research shows that you eat out 8 times less per year when you have Cutco knives because you're not as frustrated. cutting and slicing. So you're more apt to make a gourmet home cooked meal. And so then she extrapolates that. Well, over 20 years, which, by the way, there's a lifetime warranty, so it could be even longer than 20.
Yeah.
Over 20 years, imagine how much money you save eating out. And so that basically what we're talking about is you have to get in that mindset of it's not an expense and it's an investment. Right. So I think about those. Everybody's making those decisions, and probably in my business, maybe sometimes the CPAs that haven't been great at marketing and branding themselves as, no, what you're paying for is value that gives you a return, whether it be time, sleep better at night, because that's the reason why a lot of us, I think, have all probably used business coaches or kind of entertain that. We are seeing the value.
Yes.
You could say you would never get a business coach and say, well, that's just an expense on my P&L. You wouldn't.
Right.
It is an expense, but you would be like, no, that guy's providing me value. And so I think what you're getting to the point of is saying, you got to the point of saying, this thing was giving me value, and here's why. It saved me time. It let me do business development. It got me more efficient. And all those things, and I know it's done professionally and accurately. So I think you've got to get to that place. And again, sometimes it might not be like, I know.
Well, in every business that I've started, I would start the accounting and then tag an accountant at some point.
Right.
And like even in our relationship with the prior business, I was doing the accounting, and before it's like, all right, we got to have enough cash flow to come in to pay this guy. We're right out the gate on Strada Realty and what we're doing now. It's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be clean cut, transparent, and I can't afford to use this time that's valuable to do what we're doing and helping people on the accounting side.
You just want to manage it.
I just want to manage that.
Yeah, talk a little bit about you mentioned earlier kind of your business model with Strada. You want to get into that a little bit, at least on the home buying side, and then you kind of mentioned to the investors you're talking to when you mentioned, hey, we got somebody handling this and you got full transparency.
Yeah. So just a quick description to help clients on the for Strada Realty is we offer basically two options for people to help sell their homes. One is we would buy their house from them at a certain price, and it's a very competitive offer. It's basically the same amount of money that they're going to walk away with if they would sell the traditional route with a realtor.
So kind of a net concept, like, hey, after you pay your realtor fees and transition and storage of your all this stuff. Okay.
Yep. And then the second option is that if you feel that putting it on the market is the best route, we can offer you a flat fee service for that. And so your flat fee commission, not 6%, not 5%. And generally our flat fee beats out other people by thousands of dollars. And I'm going to make sure it beats out everybody.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just our side, it's the whole commission, not, oh, this is just the listing. No, this is listing and buyer side. We're shrinking it down. Don't let anybody fool you. It's not controlled by the government. Everybody has an opportunity to negotiate. And so when I go pitch investors this concept and they look at it, what was the question that you were saying?
Saying you got some feedback from investors on two things. First, that your accounting from the beginning is done, and then the transparency of it. Yeah, specifically talking about, you and I said, well, why don't we allow them into zero?
Right. So some investors that I had talked to, they were screening me on the accounting side and wanting to know, one, how did they know that their money's being used? Because the only way I'm going to be able to pay interest on that loan is by using the funds. And so, plus other accounting questions of this, and that. I said, well, from the beginning, we set up with CPA Marcus Mire Group in order for you to have access through Zero to see all the accounting. So you see what I see. You won't see the list of names, but you'll see numbers, and you'll be able to digest for yourself how's that money flowing and make you feel more comfortable in investing in our company. And so transparency is the key to success. And that's with customers, that's with investors, that's with employees, that's with your wife, everybody. And so at the end of the day, you can't just do it in one area of your life and then say, I'm going to hide this amongst everybody else. Just let it out.
Right.
And be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because what you'll learn, it's amazing that if people poke holes in what you're doing, That helps you learn.
That's right. Is this kind of where somebody interjects the truth will set you free kind of thing or something? I kept
so,
it
yeah.
as you were talking. I was like, preach, brother, preach.
Yeah, right. Maybe so. Good God. God is good.
Yeah, I don't know where to go from there.
I don't know. I mean, it's almost like you
Mic
just like
drop.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
Mike.
I mean, so how often is your wife getting in your P&L and she's checking
Man,
zero?
we just started
Yeah.
recently, and I told her we're looking at P&Ls and balance sheets.
Yeah.
Ooh. Is this in the family meeting? Is this on
Yes.
the agenda?
This is an agenda
Ooh.
item.
Yeah.
You know you can do your personal budget in zero. Just,
I know
you
that.
so
And
shameless plug
that's
there.
that's going to be the last
we're doing that.
I didn't
phase.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've
you
asked
can
you
basically
about that.
so just I mean
Like bank sync and everything?
absolutely.
Yeah,
So
okay.
there's a zero client in my zero called Marcus and Stephanie Mire, and it's like all my bank and credit cards hooked up. Like if you
Okay.
want to produce a personal financial statement, best way to do it.
So is it Taylor? Are you just saying you use the software for that? Or,
I use the software for that, but it also has a budget manager. So you can hand
meaning like Zero set it up for this.
Craig, you could sit in there and go at the end of whatever month or at your family meetings, you could be like, all right, babe, here's the red's good, the green, red's bad, the green's good.
Let's get
This is
transparent.
this transparency concept. Let's look over under budget. Yeah. And absolutely.
And look, it's exciting for my wife because she's getting to see stuff that we do, which she's never has before. And then what's more exciting is my kids are witnessing this. And because I didn't have that level of education growing up, and even getting into business was like, oh, you got to concentrate on your service and this, and that. I was behind the 8 ball, And like, man, when you have good credit and you got good income coming in, it's easy to go get into debt. They'll hand it out to you.
Yeah.
And all it is, it can be a trap, and it's just slowly making you tight. And what happens is you start telling yourself, I can work my way out of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to make more money next year because I'm self-employed. I'm just going to add more houses, more income somehow. But even though that may or may not be true, you get very cloudy in your judgment whenever it's not all kept track of and at your fingertips.
Right.
Because what happens if you got COVID and it drops that bomb?
Right, right.
Now, it did opposite in the real estate. It didn't really freeze us. But there's times in history that you can go back that all of a sudden now our economy is it stopped. And, like, what you going to do?
Right. Yeah, I'm thankful for like our business for the most part. I'll say knock on wood. I'm not even sure this table's wood, but
Probably not.
this is IKEA, so it's probably not.
Yeah.
But like our business was was fine during the
Yeah.
pandemic. But we were in a situation where we were needed, help people get PPP loans and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's true. And we live in Lafayette, Louisiana, which is totally different from New York State, California.
Right.
The not the hardest place hit, but the controls that they had put people under. And, I'm not getting political, but it's just, that's the way it is. There's significant differences between Lafayette versus New York and even New Orleans,
Right.
The restrictions that we've had. So, yeah, I've experienced, well during this pandemic, realistically, but I know that if I was living in New York or California in some of these areas, that it'd be a different tune.
Right. All right.
Well, guys, anything else you want to lay on us, Adam? You've been
this has
dropping
been great.
some good accounting bombs on us.
And not just coming from me. I think people are like, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
we've heard it before,
20
Marcus.
episodes of him saying,
Do your accounting right.
do your accounting right, get it on, but manage it, look over it, manage your business.
Yeah.
No, the podcast has been very informal. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah,
Yeah, I would say
Appreciate that.
Be excited about being in business and figuring these things out, because if you're growth minded, you should be excited. And if you just want to stay where you're at because you're about to retire or some of that nature, go figure out something else to be excited about.
Right.
And then let somebody else manage what you've earned.
And guys, Adam's excited about accounting. Don't just, if you take anything away from this episode.
Well, good deal. That's a good place to end it. If you've been inspired by Adam and his love for accounting,
And his journey, what did we say, from total chaos to
total control.
total control?
That's right.
Yeah.
Then reach out to the Mire Group. It can put you on the same path and get your accounting straight and get it working for your business. So it's a good place to start. Mire.group. All the other episodes are there as well. So, all right, guys.
See you next time.
See ya.
All right, thanks.